Hello, we are here to do my 36-week 100% raw pregnancy video update journal. I'm excited about getting to 36 weeks. What this means is 36 weeks is over. We're doing the videos when the weeks are over. So technically today is Saturday. So today is day 1 of week 37. So 36 weeks are over. According to my midwife, I am now full term. Now we don't plan on having a baby yet. We want her to be born on the 23rd, and now I'm trying to be even more specific. I'm trying to give her a time of day that I want her to be born. I'm going to put this on camera because if it happens, it's going to be the coolest thing ever, but you know, it might not happen, but I'm trying to talk to her and get her to do it. So what I want is for her to be born on September 23rd at 8:08 p.m. and I want her to weigh 8 pounds 8 ounces. So now that's on camera. You'll be able to see that I'm still pregnant. If this happens, it's going to be the coolest thing ever. And the reason for the 8:08 or for the 8, all the 8s, is because Rigo and I were married on August 8th. 8808. 8 is the number of new beginnings, and most of you know that we are a combined family, and this baby this baby is actually our first child together, and so that's one reason why it's real exciting. Another reason is because it's the first time we've been able to do a pregnancy and have a baby that is 100% raw. We're really excited about that. Now, as you can tell, if you watched last week's video, I was feeling horrible. And I did last week's video late because I had a toothache. Well, the toothache was really in this week. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But as you can tell, I'm feeling much better. I didn't take any medication, no pain medication. I didn't have anything done to my tooth. Basically what happened is I had a wisdom tooth come in a couple years ago. And when the wisdom tooth came in, it came in a way that it caused like a pocket in this back tooth here. And so that caused damage to that back tooth. Well, I ended up having that wisdom tooth taken out because it got in the way of my jawbone, and it got to the point where I couldn't even open my mouth to put food in. So I had that taken out probably a couple years ago. And the reason why I haven't gone and had, they want to do a, what's it called? A root canal on it. I don't want to have a root canal done for multiple reasons. Most of you probably know why you don't want to have root canals done. I don't want to put the metal in my mouth. There's just multiple reasons I don't want to have a root canal done. So I had gone to the dentist, and when he insisted on a root canal, I left the dentist disappointed, and I began researching, and I have researched tooth, like remineralizing teeth, and it is possible to regrow tooth, your tooth enamel and all, or the pieces. So now it takes a lot of work. You got the phytic acid that was interfering with my iron, also interferes with that. The spirulina is actually known to remineralize teeth. Wheatgrass does, but I haven't been taking that because I'm pregnant. So there was some things we added in, and I can tell you that my tooth was doing really good until I got pregnant. When I got pregnant, I stopped taking the wheatgrass because it is a detoxifier of heavy metals, and I do have a couple fillings in my mouth from before I found out about that. and I don't want those metals going to the baby. The spirulina is not so strong of a heavy metal detoxifier, and so that is why I'm taking the spirulina for iron, but I'm not doing the wheatgrass. So I have to kind of weigh out my options right now while I'm pregnant, and gonna have to weigh them out while I'm nursing as well. And my tooth is kind of on the back burner. So anyways, last week it's really hot in Arizona, and so I had gotten some ice water, and there was some ice in it that I ended up chewing on the ice. And when I chewed on the ice, my tooth started hurting like right away. Well, that's happened a couple times, and then I just make sure I don't use ice water, and it usually goes away within a couple hours. Well, it got worse and worse and worse. It got so bad. It was probably one of my worst toothaches ever. I will say that the only other times I've had toothaches besides that one is two wisdom teeth. One top one here and a bottom one here. The bottom one here was attached to the some kind of nerve or something, so it was shooting pain into my head. And the one up here was extremely painful as well. And those two wisdom teeth I did have taken out. My other two wisdom teeth, I don't know if they're in yet, and they didn't bother me, or if they're not in yet. But anyways, I haven't struggled too much with tooth pain other than those two things, and this tooth that keeps coming up and bothering me. However, back before, when this tooth would bother me, they would give me medications like Vicodin and different things. Well, what I did this time, I wanted nothing to get to the baby. So what I did is I drank a lot of juice. I would say 5 to 6 jars a day at least. I took a garlic concoction, which I talked about on the last video, but basically it's garlic, honey, and lemon. That's a natural antibiotic. I did that probably twice a day for a few days. And I took a probiotic. The probiotic I used is called Inner Eco, and I get it at Sprouts. And I took the probiotic.
Dairy-free.
Huh?
Dairy-free.
It's a dairy-free. Uses coconut water. Now we are making our own water kefir, but I'm weird with that. The kids in Rigo like it, but I'm weird with that when I grow my own. I don't know why. I just feel like this one is a lot stronger, and so I was taking that, and I took that probably 3 times a day. I took 2 tablespoons in the morning, 1 tablespoon in the afternoon, and 1 tablespoon at night. All it is coconut water and live bacteria. It's a probiotic. I used it in replace of an antibiotic. That's what we typically do. If we get around germs, if there's a flu going through the church, and my kids are sitting in Sunday school and everyone's coughing and sneezing, and they're talking about how they were throwing up all weekend, I come home and I give them a spoonful of honey and some probiotic. Then we make sure that they're getting their juices in and enough water. And you can tell sometimes we've gotten the germ into our system, but we've never actually, the germ has never been able to cultivate as of yet. And it's been about 1.5 years. So thank God that hasn't cultivated yet. I'm not saying that being raw will keep you 100% well 100% of the time, but as long as you keep an eye out and you pay attention to your body and you do the right thing, I could definitely tell you that you most likely will not get sick very often, if at all. So anyways, that's what I did to cure my toothache, and my tooth is just fine now. It's feeling much, much better. My face isn't swollen. Last week, my face was swollen. I didn't want to do that video. I waited until Wednesday to do the video, and then I said, well, it's just, my tooth is hurting too bad. There's no way it's going to go away in time. I don't want to skip a week. We've stayed on top of the videos every week since week 9, and so I didn't want to just go without a video for the week. So I recorded it and I watched it, and I hate that video, but that was the reality of what was going on. So because I had such a severe toothache, I wasn't able to eat. So I drank a lot of water. I drank a lot of juice, like I told you. There was a few days where I really didn't eat. One day I had a peach that was super ripe, so I cut it up into really small pieces and kind of just sucked on it until it was dissolved. And then there was a couple days where I smashed up avocado and put lemon and garlic, or not garlic, salt. So I made kind of like a guacamole, and I ate that with a plastic fork because putting metal in my mouth was making it hurt. I had to keep the fans off because the air hitting my cheek was hurting. It was a very, very painful toothache, and I'm actually surprised I was able to get through it without any medication.
Talk about how you could feel the other pain later.
Oh, yeah. During the toothache, the pain was so severe that I didn't feel any pain anywhere else. My back didn't feel like it was hurting. My hips weren't hurting. Everything that had been bothering me this whole time wasn't hurting. What was funny is I realized I was starting to feel better because my back started hurting. And I'm like, oh, my back. And then I'm like, well, you know, my tooth is starting to feel better. And then my hips are hurting, and I'm like, okay, well, I must be getting better because now all these pregnancy pains are coming back. And they're typical pregnancy pains. I've had them with every kid. It's just the way my body carries babies. Every mother who is 9 months pregnant knows the pains that you happen in your hips and in your back and carrying the baby and in your ribs, and they're kicking and they're hitting, and you know, that's typical. So anyways, but during the whole time I was in the pain from my tooth, I didn't even notice it because as bad as that pain was, my tooth was so much worse. And I know some people will give me flack for pushing through, but my options, I had no real options. I could go get a root canal and have them put metal in my mouth while I'm pregnant, and that is just not an option for me. Not an option. I could go and have them yank it out without any medication.
You need penicillin.
Penicillin.
Antibiotic.
Oh yeah, and they wouldn't even have pulled it out because they wanted to give they would have wanted to give me an antibiotic, and the antibiotic I'm not willing to take because that's going to get to the baby as well, and I don't want an antibiotic killing the good flora in her little gut. Anyways, that was really the gist of week 36. It was a painful week. It was a little difficult to get through, but we're through it, and it happens. So we'll show you my belly. And this is Saturday. We are doing the video on time this week. So this is a true 37 or 36 week belly. Completed 36 weeks. And she seems to go through growth spurts like every week. She is just like getting so big. But so that is my 36 week belly, and we will be back next week for week 37, and it's getting so close, and we're getting so excited that hopefully we'll get that video done on the right day as well, and then we should have one more as long as she comes on time or as planned. So we will see you back for week 37.